Tri-City Sports. Now, MidMajor Madness has maybe the best reporter covering the Southern Conference today. His name is John Hooper, SoCon John Hooper to be exact. And while the rankings are out, Furman is now the number 23 team in the country, according to the Associated Press. They are 10-0 on the men's basketball season. John Hooper, I guess Steve Forbes, you and I are kind of in agreement. This could be the year that SoCon gets two bids, but in order to do so, somebody like Furman or UNCG just has to have a monster year in the conference and then get knocked off in the tournament somehow. Something that didn't work for Davidson back in the day, but maybe this year, ranked number 9 in the RPI, the SoCon, might be able to get that second team in that way. Question, though, that I want to ask you, how long do you think Furman can stay undefeated this season? Yes, the law of averages, but will it happen this season? Next season? Will it happen this month? Yes.
But realistically, I guess logically, you would say LSU maybe.
Sure.
The next two games are against teams not that they necessarily will be, but will be favored to be, and Charleston Southern and UNC Wilmington. So I would say LSU. If not that game, maybe possibly East Tennessee State. But those are two tough games, right? I know there's an 8-day break between the LSU game and the East Tennessee State game, but both are on the road, and both are against very good foes. So I think one of those two games, what I would say, would probably see that winning streak come to an end. And having said that, I think we have learned enough about Furman now to say that they'll probably be in the race for the whole season in the SoCon. So I think you make a good point about the SoCon having potentially two bids at stake when March comes around. I know when Davidson was in it back in, I guess it was 2008-09, they had lost, but the conference RPI wasn't as high as it is now. So
yeah,
if they can maintain that RPI somehow in the conference, and we understand that teams are going to beat up on each other, I think there's a real possibility for two teams.
There you go. I mean, do you kind of think that it's a long time coming, SoCon John Hooper? I guess I've always been very into Southern Conference basketball, and to be honest with you, I'm not that big of a basketball fan, but I love the SoCon basketball, and I've thought many times that a Davidson should have gotten that bid after they got knocked off in the tournament or something of that nature, or even a case of, geez, why didn't the NIT come calling to ETSU last year? Something like that. Do you think that this is overdue, that the SoCon is getting this kind of attention, at least from the people that do those RPIs and those analytical ratings?
I think so. I think part of the problem you have with college stuff is there are just so many teams. I mean, you're talking about 330 teams or 320 something teams, and so you've got 33 or 34 conferences. It's just so tough for the media to see everyone, and I think that the smaller conferences or the smaller mid-majors get kind of gypped in that respect, because I mean, unless who's really out there watching a Radford, you're going to raise an eyebrow when they beat two teams that they have beaten this year in Notre Dame and Texas. But then you start paying attention. But in defense of the Southern Conference, the Big South doesn't have quite the team's resumes and the RPIs that the SoCon has. So you're really just talking about a Radford. But when you're talking about the SoCon, you have four solid teams, within, as you've mentioned before, the RPI top, now I would say top 100 in the country, but you said top 150, I think. So yeah, I mean, you're going to pay attention to the upper half of they've done. And even though they struggled to get a victory over Elon the other night, I thought they did some nice things. And ETSU's starting to play really, really well and starting to kind of get a chemistry with each other. So I think that's a positive, and I think you could see that in their last home game over our UT Martin.
So
and then Wofford,